Hello guys, my name is Zach NVR and welcome to a data pack tutorial. Today I will be teaching you how to make custom blocks. And so I've made these very basic looking blocks to show you how this works. Just show off sort of the properties of these blocks just real quickly. So if I go, oh, that's wrong. If I go into, say, survival mode real quick, so you're seeing they can place and destroy. Now in survival mode, they'll also drop the item, and futures that can deal with that problem, he'll come up. So yeah, now I want to show you, I guess, how do these blocks actually work and what's the difference between these two, and then we'll go into how to actually go about making this. So of course this uses a resource pack, so if I take it off real quick, you'll be able to see what exactly is going on. So as you can see, the items are now item frames, and the blocks have these like floating item frame things, and then you've got a cobblestone block and a glass block. So basically they use custom models. So you can give items a custom data MBT tag called custom model data, and basically when it has that, it'll in your resource pack look for that custom model and it will apply it. Basically that's what's going on. I oversimplified it a bit, but I'll show you how exactly to make that in a little bit. Now you can see that these are actually armor stands, and they're wearing the item frames on their head, and you can see they're in slightly different positions. So now what's the actual differences between the block and why are they the way they are? Basically, block 1 allows you to have a universal block. So basically, the base can be anything, is the main advantage of block 1. Oh, I'm still in survival. And now I'm in spectator. Now the problem with this block, I'll show you when I reapply the resource pack. Big issue in trying to solve the problems with this block is if I come into here, it glows in the dark. Maybe that's a cool thing for your block. Maybe it has a sort of special purpose and needs to glow. That's cool. This will be perfect. The reason it has to glow is because if the armor stand's feet are in a solid block, so if I place a block above this, this would turn like pitch black, and we don't want that. This also tries to solve the same problem. So what this does instead is your base block has to be transparent, so that's why it was grey stained glass before, and so it puts the armor stand's feet into that glass block so that the block displays properly. There's the main differences, and so you can decide which one you're going to use. I'm going to go through how to make both of them. They have slightly different properties in both the data packs and the resource pack. So let's get into how to actually make this in your own world and with your own blocks. Alright, so first we're going to look at how to make the resource pack. So I've opened my resource pack folder. My Minecraft profile, you can do that through Minecraft itself. If you go into options, resource packs, and open resource pack folder, should lead you to here. So I've created this folder. This is my resource pack that I'm using, custom blocks. So the first thing you want to do is come in here, and you will have to make a file called pack.mcmeta. It looks something like this. You have these, you can pause it and copy it. Pack format is 5 as of 1.16, and then the description, you can do whatever you like. So yeah, just rewind and pause that if you need to copy that. Then in assets, you will need a folder called Minecraft. Then inside of there, you will need two folders, one called models, one called textures. Let's start with the texture folder. Inside textures, you'll need a folder called block. And inside here, you will need your textures for your custom blocks. And you can name these whatever you like. In fact, you technically could name that whatever you like, but just stick to block for convenience sake. And then we'll look into models. Now inside models, you'll need a folder called item, and inside item, you'll need 3 model files. So this first one is item frame. So what this will do is customize the look of the item frame both on top of the armor stand's head and in a player's inventory. So this top part isn't really important, it's just the normal functionality of the item frame item. But this is the important part. And so for each of your custom blocks, you will need an override thing that looks like this. And for each custom model data value, and so basically you'll assign that to a block. And this file name will need to match the model files here for your custom blocks. Quickly, Zach from the future here. This was done wrong. This needs a colon. Just fix that up, please. And then save. So now let's get into those very model files. So that's going to open in a new window. So block 1, let's just put it into this one. Let's open them both real quick. They're very, very similar, but they've got a slight difference. Firstly, this is just telling it's a cube. If you know what you're doing, you can customize that however you like. The important thing is that this file name, specifically this, matches the file name of your texture file. So back in textures, first of all, that folder needs to match that, which is why I said it was more convenient, and then your file name needs to match there. And then the display, the rotation is 0. The translation is one of the really important things. This value needs to be minus 56.03. That precisely makes the block aligned properly. And then the scale is 1.601 in all coordinates. Block 2 is very similar, except this translation here is minus 30.43. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the resource pack. Now let's move on to the data pack. Now to create your data pack, you'll need to locate your .minecraft folder, which you can do with the classic %app data % if you don't know. And this will take you into your roaming and into .minecraft here. And so to create your data pack, you'll need to create it in saves, and then whatever world you're creating your data pack in. I'm actually running Minecraft in a slightly different file location, so I'll go to that. So this is my only save so far. So creating the data pack. So I have already pre-made the data pack. I'm going to drag it in and show you what's going on. Boop. First, you go into the folder, and similarly to texture packs, you need this pack.mcmeta file, which is very similar. Again, the pack format is 5. I'm not sure how it's gone up that quickly, considering data packs have only been around for a few updates, but apparently the wiki says it's 5, and then you can create whatever description you like. It's kind of outdated for this pack, but alright, so then you're going to need 2 folders. One of them is Minecraft, and then the second one is what's basically called a namespace. So you can call this whatever you like as long as there's no spaces or there's a lot of characters that you can't do. So just do lowercase letters and underscores. I think numbers are fine as well, but maybe don't test your luck. Anyway, so we're first going to have to go into Minecraft, and we're going to create a folder called tags. Inside tags is create a folder called functions, and inside that we want to create something called tick.json. Here it's a pretty simple file. Again, pause to view it. Simply, we need values and then your namespace. So mine is custom underscore block. Whenever you see this followed by a colon, it's probably the namespace. And then main. So that should be pretty straightforward. And so what this says to the game is, hey, this function is tagged as tick. So what the game treats that as is it runs this function every single tick, which the game tries to run every 20th of a second. So if we go into custom block, we just have a folder called functions, and then I have like to create folders for each of your blocks, just for placing and destroying them, which we'll get to, but also just general if they end up having functionality, which I'll get to in later videos if I ever make those later videos. Then yeah, so first we want to do this main.make function file. So if we open this up, as it says, this is the custom blocks main loop. So for block one, for block one type of block, you're gonna need 3 commands. Hey guys, Future Zach here again. Before I explain how this block works and what it does, I want to stress the importance of these tags. These are basically going to be the ID of your block, and you want to make sure that for a given block, say block 1, that these IDs are consistent for both the armor stands and the item frame. Same with like other blocks, of course, as well. So this is block 2, and they also pop up in the place and destroy functions, which I will get to in a second. But yeah, I just wanted to stress the importance of these tags. So the first one, it says, so it executes as all the armor stands that are responsible for making block 1 possible, and it says basically you're on fire. So it basically tells the armor stand it's on fire, and that's how we get that glowing effect. So the armor stand's pretending it's on fire. Now the second command is actually placing any blocks from any item frames that have been placed into your world. So you want to do this one as execute as type equals my item frame, tag equals block 1, and then it will run the place function. Again, the namespace, and then whatever folder your block is coming under. And then this one, it runs as all the armor stands at their location. So for block 1, it checks for the block below it. It checks if it's not cobblestone, and if it isn't cobblestone, then it will run the destroy function. Again, the namespace, again, the name of the block. Now block 2 is a little simpler. It's only 2 commands, as you can see. We've got execute as, so places, this is the place command, running with the item frame. So it'll run that command. Again, these things. And then the second command is the destroy. So we do the armor stand. Also note that this block is whatever block your custom block is basing its properties off of. So for this one, it's gray stained glass because we need a transparent block, and then that will run the destroy function. And also notice that this is at its own coordinates rather than going a block lower because of, well, the armor stand in a block 2 block sits inside of the block. Alright, then we want to do the place and destroy functions. So I don't know why I minimized that. Oh, I have too many things open. Oh well. So we'll open them both up. So we're gonna go place first. So remember, this is an item frame running this command. So firstly we want to execute at the item frame's coordinates, align it with all the axes. So that'll round down each coordinate so we get a very precise location, just in case the armor stand is, or rather, the item frame is placed on any of the block's faces. We know exactly where this coordinate is after it's aligned. Then we can run the summon command for the armor stand, and this will be these 0.5s, make sure it's in the middle of the block, and then of course it's the block above. Then we have all this NBT data. So I'm going to extend this a bit. And so what we have is marker 1B, invisible 1B, pose, there's a head pose, tags block 1, and then we've got armor items, and so this is making sure it's wearing the item frame as a head item, and it has custom model data of 1, which tells the game, you know, check for that model file in the resource pack. And then we want to execute at the item frame. We want to set the block right at its location to whatever block this happens to be. Make sure this is the same as the file in main.mc function. And then we want to execute at itself again and align it with the axes again. Not really necessary, but handy. And then we want to play a sound. This is just for sort of the experience of the block, because otherwise it wouldn't play any sound. So I've got it playing Minecraft block.stone.place. You can make that any block you like. I recommend this staying as block, and then this is the normal sort of distance for a sound. So that's fine, and then it just kills itself, so then the item frame doesn't exist anymore. Now with the destroy function, this is running as the armor stand now. So it's detected that the cobblestone block is missing, so it realizes it's destroyed. Now it checks if the nearest player is in survival mode, and it will summon the item of the your custom block. Future Zach again. Just to fix the bug that you saw in the intro where the item spawned too high, this needs to be negative 0.5 instead of positive 0.5. So it'll be item, an item frame, count of 1, and all these complicated tags. Again, please pause it if you need to copy it. I will also provide a link to the data pack in the description. So if you can't see this for whatever reason, you can just copy it. So we've got entity tag. So basically when it's placed down as an entity, it's going to have some of these properties which will tell the game, hey, you need to place a custom block. Again, custom model data, that just displays the block, and then we have the name for the block, making sure it's italic false, otherwise it looks like it's renamed with an anvil, and then give it some motion and pickup delay just to make it seem like it's kind of a more legitimate item. which is what normal items do. The motion's not exactly right because it doesn't have any horizontal motion, it's just vertical. But it's better than no motion. Then again, if it's in survival, we're gonna kill the item that the block dropped by default. So in this case, it's cobblestone. That is if that item exists. So it's trying to check for an item within a certain range and only one of them. And then the armor stand is going to kill itself after that. And that's how you make a block 1 block. Now let's move on to block 2. So block 2, again, very, very similar, but there are some slight differences. So place and destroy. Okay. So again, we want to align the axes, summon the armor stand. This time, we're summoning it at the coordinates of the item frame. Again, with the 0.5 displacement for it to be in the middle of the block. These tags are all the same, except this is block 2. That's a very important tag, as well as this custom model data here has a value of 2. Then this one sets the block to grey stained glass or whatever transparent block you're using. And this also plays a sound, and that's exactly the same command, and then it destroys itself. And then the next function, again, very, very, very similar. So summon the item, blah, 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 with all the properties. It has its special name and custom model data. Pause the video to take it in here, and I'll scroll over to the left. Pause it again. Yeah, again, very, very similar. The motion, the pickup delay, the name. Destroying the item, say they have a silk touch pickaxe. Just make sure to get rid of it. So I don't recommend transparent items like glowstone that might drop multiple items, because then you might have a problem trying to get rid of all of them. You could give it a go. It might work, you know, mess around with it, test it. That is if you're using glowstone. And then it, again, removes the armor stand. Hello, Future Zach again for one last time. So I also think it's a good idea to make this give function, so inside of your block folder. And so basically it just gives you the item with all the custom data, so you can just go and copy that from destroy make function. It's the same as so this part to yeah, so you copy all that everything in this tag. So all of that, you can copy it and then you paste it back here. That's what that is actually. Oh no, it's not quite that curly bracket. It's like this curly bracket and then everything else. So like that. So you copy that and then put it into this command. And so of course making sure your tag is right, the right blocks and the custom model data and the name as well. And that is it. That is the complete data pack. And now you should have custom blocks in your world. I hope you got everything. Again, please remember to rewind and pause anything. Feel free to ask me questions in the comments if anything was unclear. But let's head back into my Minecraft world to really wrap up the video. So I'm back in my world, and now I'm going to show you how to give yourself the blocks. So run function, your namespace, come custom block and then the give command, and that will give you the item, and it will stack with all the other ones if you've done it correctly. And same with block 2. You know, you can do that with all your blocks that you might have. But that is it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any feedback or you're confused by anything, also leave a comment and I'll try and explain that. I do plan on making this a series. I won't be a very consistent uploader if I do end up doing that. Just like different kinds of blocks, maybe like redstone power blocks, and maybe even custom block GUIs. So let me know if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.